I think I am audible enough. If she's outside, karibu sana. She is here. Let us appreciate her, please, as she is coming. Karibu sana. 5 minutes.
Thank you so much. I greet you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Good morning. Good morning again. My name is Gladys Wanjera, not Washira, sorry. I'm privileged to be here. First, nashukuru Mungu for this opportunity. I'm a member of this church, and I recognize our daddy, Reverend Kokonyo, and Mama for giving us this opportunity. What I deal with, even though I have a background of banking and finance, I now deal with investing in health. We touch people's lives through natural products. As you've heard, BF Suma is an American company, which we address the health issues. You do not have to wait to be sick to treat. We advise on nutrition. That is basically my docket, advising on nutrition. The company also gives you an opportunity to create the passive income. And because my time is limited, we are going to interact more at our tent. I will invite, we work hand in hand with our doctors. We have Dr. David in our presence. He's going to touch a bit about what he does, and we shall interact more on this. Thank you so much, and be blessed.
God is good, and all the time, as she has introduced, I'm David, and I thank God for my being here at this moment. I know I have doctors here, I have engineers, architects, I have all kind of people. But together, building people. Our main aim is together building people. You cannot build people without health and wealth. You need good health for you to have wealth. And you cannot be in good health if you don't have wealth. That is the main purpose for us being here today. The company has been introduced, and therefore I will take 2-3 minutes to introduce what we have, because I've been told that we have only 5 minutes. Our products alleviate difficulties in health. The difficulties that you have in health, that's what we address. It is preventive, at the same time, it is treat. But we know God does heal. It also gives us income. And the number of things that we normally take care of, I will just mention some of the chronic diseases and also other diseases that attack us. Because we recruit, train, and make sure we should tap the leaders who can be able to do it. We also do the preventive, immunity boosting, and treatment. Some of the areas that we handle are asthmatic. There are many people with those situations. Ushers. There are those who have arthritis, rheumatism. I'm trying to use the language that everybody can understand. There is also impotency and the libido, that most of the marriages have that problem. And this problem gives our pastors a lot of difficult time to handle such a situation when it comes to impotency, libido, and the menopause issues. Also, we deal with blood pressure, diabetes, blood sugar. We deal with dementia, that is the memory loss. We deal with weight management to remove the cholesterol and all that, to make sure that you have the shape that you need. We deal with also preventive on the areas of stroke. Those who are addicted, those who are alcoholic addicted, Also, we help them to come out of this using our products. Cancer and chemo management, also we handle that. We are also talking about women beauty and skin. We also take care of that. UTI, fibrons. There are other areas like anemia. We deal with HIV, AIDS, and we see how they can build their immunity. Dental issues, stress issues, and aging. Nobody wants to grow old. If I mention my age here, some wazes here will not believe it. I'm old enough. I'm a grandfather and old. I will not mention my age because some of you may not believe it. So because you are given a short period of time, I want to invite you at our table outside. We can be able to examine and see what you could be going through. And therefore, always try to correct or to do what is right and to correct what is wrong. And that will make you better. I wish you the best. May God bless you. May God take care of you. May God heal us. Amen.
Thank you so much. Let us appreciate BF Suma tafadhali. Thank you so much, BF Suma representatives, for such a good article. I would request, if it's 3 minutes, kindly take 3 minutes because we are just working with time. And right now, I would like to invite here Mr. Eric Oketh from Recall Consultants. Eric, please, let us appreciate him, tafadhali, as he comes to give remarks. Karibu sana. 3 minutes, please.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Kwa majina naitwa Eric. I am from Wreckage Consultants. Wreckage Consultant is a firm which offer tax consultancy, business, and company registration. So I'll take 3 minutes as I committed my words. So I'll just go brief what Wreckage Consultant deals with, and I will go to services Wreckage Consultant provides and the targeted clients. So, as I said, Wreckage Consultant is a financial services company that offers comprehensive suites of services for individuals and businesses. I see so many people here are in business space, and it is very important for you to have information about tax. Since we started this conference, sijasikia kama kuna mwenye amesema about tax. The tax forms a very part of our lives. So the services we deal with, that's tax preparation. You know, so many people are here, but wanaweza kuwa na shida. Wengine hawajafile returns from back 2013. So it is something which is very important for you to do. It is an obligation which a Kenyan must adhere to. So kama uko na shida kama hizo, for example, ulifanya kazi, ukaacha kazi baadaye, so hujakuwa ukifile returns. I want to advise you to take the advantage of amnesty tax which is ongoing. It will expire at the end of this month, so you can contact us. We can assist you in any way. Another thing, those who want to onboard e-teams, this is a new platform, electronic tax invoice management system, which the government, the KRA, introduced. So it's very important for us to onboard. Those who are doing businesses, small business, unaweza sema mimi sitaki hiyo, but it is very important for you to onboard. You can contact us, we'll give you more information about it. Wengine wanasikia tu kwa media that kuna kitu inaitwa e-teams, kuna kitu inaitwa amnesty tax. It's very important to have that information so that you know what you do. Lastly, I'll just be brief on company registration. We do various services to deal with the business registration, business search. Maybe you want to change the company you are operating. Maybe you started with business name, you want to convert it to a limited or a public company. We can assist you on that. Anyways, we Clans will focus on families, young professionals, entrepreneurs just like us here, and also small business and middle-sized businesses. I want to appreciate the organizer of this conference, and I don't take it for granted for giving me this opportunity to present our services. Thank you very much. God bless everyone.
Let us appreciate him better, tafadhali. Asante sana for that information. Being a representative of the taxman. Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe. Yeah, is wenye tunaendelea kufile taxes na wenye bado tulikuwa tumesahau, tunaweza muona na God atatubless. Bwana asifiwe. Thank you so much. I want to invite now Mr. Joseph Gudiru. Is he around? Mr. Joseph Gudiru is the founder and the CEO of IPAC. Do we have Mr. Joseph in the house? Oh, he's coming from upstairs. Let us appreciate him, tafadhali. We can appreciate him better as he comes, and your 3 minutes starts now. Karibu sana.
Praise God. I don't know if I should say Happy Madaraka Day. Is that such a greeting? Happy Madaraka Day. I'm so grateful, I'm so humbled, and I'm so privileged to be here with you. I'll be sharing a bit about what we do. So, you probably know that the problem we have in Africa, one of the biggest problems we have in Africa, is the rising population of young people, then the extremely high poverty levels that we have in the society. So, I run 2 startups that are in the climate space, and what we basically do is try to make the world a better place by creating solutions and using innovations that create green jobs and have a social venture aspect to it. One of it is what you see on the screen. So that's a photo of my classmates and I stuck in Lake Naivasha because of that hyacinth thing surrounding our boat. And Hyapack, what you just heard, is a startup where we are trying to convert that water hyacinth into biodegradable packaging, products that look like plastics and feel like plastics and perform like plastics, but they decompose and they biodegrade. We are currently the leading provider of this in the country. And the next thing we do, you've probably heard of this thing called AI, artificial intelligence. We are trying to use AI to protect the Kenyan forests currently. We run another startup called MC2. At MC2, we are using early warning system to tell us before someone cuts down a random tree, so that's deforestation, before you burn down charcoal, and before there's a wildfire. And we are currently doing this, rolling this out together with the Kenya Forest Service in the Ngong Forest, and we have reduced the amount of deforestation rate in that area. So basically, I'd like to encourage you guys to create solutions that will not only benefit yourself, but will create an income for someone else, because we youth need the jobs, and we need you people who are in this room to create the solutions for the jobs for the youth. Thank you so much.
Let us appreciate him better, tafadhali. Tumpigie makofi. That is a very nice one. So, kwa wenye tunaendelea kupata information, for those who are being fed by the same information from the different speakers who have spoken to us since morning. I know some of us checked here early in the morning. Maybe they did not get an opportunity to hear the information from our own people who spoke. And I would request, kama hukupata wale waliongea kwanza, go and visit the YouTube. Utapata your information, our information from our mom in Adware and Mr. Engineer Ngonga and the rest. So without much ado, I see some people being served, but because we are operating behind time, and I'm the person who was seated there. I was pushing for the time, but now I'm being told time is far much spent. So I'm trying to observe the protocol which has already been established and take this opportunity to invite the speaker who is going to continue from where he left. For those who have come later, for those who did not get to hear the introduction of our speaker, is the same person who is going to take us to the next session. We have Mr. Moses Juguna, is a private wealth manager. Moses Juguna is an accomplished and results-driven investment advisor with 10 years of experience, nurturing his clients into making the best money and wealth management decisions. He has passion in financial planning, wealth management, and investment strategy. He's an associate member of the Chartered Institute for Security and Investment. He is a graduate of University of Nairobi. Ladies and gentlemen, without much ado, can we appreciate and welcome the man who is going to take us to that next session? Karibu sana.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, this is okay. Sorry, we're in the second session, and I had questions here. I'll combine them with what we'll have. Let me finish the presentation. I have a few slides, then we can do Q&A. So I'll go to my presentation, second session. And we want to talk, now I spoke about passive income. I told you how do you get money from your budget for the passive income. How do you build now that portfolio? What do you need for passive income? Maybe I can answer a question here as they work on. There's amount to invest. As someone asked, how much is the amount to invest? The amount to invest is informed by how much you're paying yourself from your budget. How much you're able to set aside to pay yourself should be invested like a money market fund. You may say, I don't have much, but even 1,000 monthly from your budget can do a lot of difference in your life. Because if you're investing 1,000, even where you're earning a return of even, let's say, net of 10%, with a compounding, at the end of the year, you'll have contributed or invested around 120, but that money will not be 120. Will be 12,000. But you'll have gained some other interest on top. You'll be talking of like 15,000. But what if you didn't take that decision? You'll not have the 10,000, you'll not have the 3,000 on top, and you'll be looking for more money. So the decision is not, it's not about how much to start investing, it is what you have. We have solutions in the market, and not just at NABO alone. We have solutions in the market. You know, we have partnered with one of our technology company called a platform called Chums. I know maybe you have interacted in your Play Store, you have seen Chums. At Chums, you can invest even 100 shillings in that app. So even if you are in a business, you sell things, and at the end of the day, you have realized a profit of 500 shillings, you can invest in that app. And that money is earning you an interest at the end of the day. You'll see it on your app, the interest is earning, giving you like 10% on that money. And when you want to withdraw, you can withdraw something there and do the business. If you're in a process of you bring, maybe let's say you sell clothes, you go for your whatever, the one you're bringing, the stocks, you're selling. Before you go for the next one, there's that capital. Is it just seated in idle in the bank as you wait to clear the stocks or to bring the other one? It can be earning something, and you plan when to access that money. So it's very simple. Investment, it's for everyone, but it depends on how much. And the goal, what's the goal? How much are you looking, and what's the purpose? So let's go, the next slide. Yeah, so this one I'm calling it passive income with goal-based investment. Everything you are investing should have a goal. And what we are saying is that a goal-based approach involves creating a customized investment plan tailored for you. If your goal is education, you need to invest in money in a very low risk place, because you don't want to lose the money for the education and the following day you're starting again. So you're saying developing an education plan is an important step towards achieving your children's education. I'm not talking about insurance policies. We are a fund manager. Insurance have the business of protection. I use the insurance for protection, my car, my medical, domestic. But when it comes to education, I believe in having a portfolio that I have a lot of control on it, where I have a monitor. I'm able to see the growth, and I'm able to grow that portfolio with a higher interest. But if I'm taking a policy, I'm just no amount assured at the end of the day. If I don't do the 3 years discipline period and I withdraw before then, what are the repercussions? Here, the education plan I'm talking about can be even a money market. A money market, you have a full control. In case your finances are changing and you realize this month or the time, like the time of COVID when it came, most of the people who had these policies they were paying and they lost an income, they went to be inactive and they had to pay money to kind of reactivate the sum to make it at par before for you to secure that education or whatever. But if it was a portfolio, you just tell the fund manager, this month I am not able, or you don't even have to tell me because it's a goal you're working on. You just know by the end of this period of time, this is how much I'm looking forward. If I delay this month, it means I need to add a year to the time I'm realizing this goal. So I'm not against the policies. I know there's a part of it on the life assurance on that, but that may not be enough compensation. If you check the return at the end of the day, you're getting like 5%, 6% after investing for 15 years, 18 years, 12 years. So I would say go for where you have the control. As I said, be on the driver's seat of your money. And home ownership. A question came and someone was asking, do I take a mortgage or a loan? I build a home. And I would ask, what is the interest for that? What is the interest for that loan you're taking? And the other question is, how long are you going to pay? Have you done the month how much you're going to pay on that loan? It is good. Home security, it is good. But is there another strategy? Like this is a discussion I had with my client back 2021, January. This client had some amount with a bank, and this bank were very kind and were telling them, we can extend you a mortgage and build this house. He had a plot somewhere prime and build this house, feel good and all that. And we sat with this client. How much was he going to pay? Almost 250 installment for the mortgage every month. And we said, the amount of money you have, if we just invest this money at a return of 12%, compounding monthly, I did the projection, and within 4 years and a half, we were able to complete that house without a debt. So the question is to convince the wife, why don't we need the house now, and we can have it in 4 years and a half, but we save ourselves paying money out there for the next 20 years. And we started. So the wife would do a top-up. So what he was to pay was to come from his salary. So we committed the principal amount and how much he was to pay. And then the wife stepped in and said, I'll be doing a certain amount to top up. By the month of when? March, this client has started construction. zero debt. This was 2021. We are in 2024 March. In fact, the 4 years and a half are not yet over. This client has started working, and what we have done, part of the investment, as he continues with the construction, we have locked at a higher interest, such that by the time he's finishing, completing the house, he'll have some money even for the education. The portfolio will remain. But if he took the loan, construct the house in 6 months' time, have the house, but the next 20 years, money going out. So by the time you're coming to do the maths, you have the house, but you don't have the cash flow. You have the education. Look at the education. Education is a project. You are taking a child 1 year, 3 years to school, the next 18 years. It's a project. How do you finance that? So you need to be deliberate about building a portfolio that can address this even in the college. And I've seen people, someone will even buy a bonds and say, this bond pays this half year, it pays the school fees of that time. The beginning of the year, there's an interest has come, pays the mid of the year. Or I'm building a portfolio that every quarter we pay. We have a lot of investment account to tell you for client. We pay money to the schools. We send the money, the client pay school beginning of the year, the portfolio continue growing. So you need to have the control. So home ownership, it is good, but also you need to assess. Are you committing yourself such that in the next 20 years, you're assuming you'll have the same job, you'll have the same cash flows, the salary to service this loan, and no fundamentals are changing. The economy will remain the same. There are going to be no COVID that will disappear with that will interrupt your money. And you're assuming I'll have this salary for the next 20 years, strong and working. I'm not against the taking the loan, but I'm against how much is the repayment of this loan. Is it taking you the potential of building wealth? Wealth creation is a journey. Let's go to the next slide. The same slide, actually. Generating wealth transfer. It's a very passive income. It's a very discussion. When I'm talking the portfolio, there's what we call a legacy portfolio. You've worked 20 years, 30 years. You're building an empire. You're building investment. Are you planning how that wealth will be transferred to the next generation? Or the moment you die, they start taking each other to court. They start selling. They feel like this mzee was very stingy with his things. We have full access. And wealth transfer, generational wealth transfer, it is a process. That's why in one of the slides you saw we do family offices. We manage wealth for families. Including an example is for the late Dr. Chris Kirubi. We've managed the portfolio. He's not there, but it has grown since the time he left. We've managed for such investors. So you have structures that are beyond you. You live a structure that is able. You may say, I'm in a business. I'll give my children this business to run. The next thing they don't have the interest in that business is to sell. Or the land. You may say, I'll give you land in Kamulu, plot in Juja farm, you and that. The next thing they'll be looking for a buyer to convert it to a cash. But if you had a portfolio that is managed by investment professional, an example I'll give it, 2021, I had this single mom. I used to pay her $150,000 a month as a retirement. She had retired, this was her portfolio. And she got COVID and unfortunately she passed on. And the beneficiary were who? The son and the daughter. Each 50%, 50%. They did the administration and we sat down. I remember having a meeting with them and the question they asked first was, now this is our money. Can we access this money? Can we withdraw? And I told them, definitely. We can process this within 24 to 48 hours, have it in your bank. But my question to you is, what's the plan do you have for this money? And they had none. They had no plan. I could tell the first thing they would do is to buy cars. Buy good cars and all that. The son was in that year, university. The daughter had just gotten an internship. And we told them, we used to pay your mom $150,000 monthly. Can I pay you $75,000 every month? And then we sit down here 3 months to assess the decision you wanted to withdraw money, maybe the business idea you have. And they said, okay. We paid the first month, the third month they came. We sat in our boardroom and we asked them, do we continue paying you or you want to withdraw? And they said, okay, money has been coming. Is our principal still there? I told them, yes, your capital is preserved. It's still there. And what do we say? The daughter said, I've been confirmed where I work. In fact, I'll be adding 15,000 monthly to that account. So he continued paying the son. He paid the hostel. He was in university, paid school fees and all that. 2023 January, he had completed and came and said, I've gotten a paid internship. I'm not going to withdraw. When I assess that account right now, from where their mother left it 2021 March to where it is right now, it has grown in a bigger way because we are investing. Whatever we used to pay, we are investing back into the portfolio. But what if this money was seated somewhere in the bank? They withdraw. They'll buy the car they wanted. Then within 3 years' time to 4 years' time, they have nothing. So wealth transfer, it is a very key thing. You could be working so hard, but how are you preparing your family? So that's why you come up with even family trust, such that even if you are gone, your investment in the children you leave them, their investment is still running. So that's a discussion I'll talk more. So let's continue. So goal-based, investing for retirement, financial freedom, you need to have a goal. How much do I want? As I said, this money should work for you. You are working hard for it today. It should also work hard for you. Next. Next slide. Yes, so it's something we call Maslow hierarchy of needs. Anyone who have interacted with it? Maslow hierarchy of need? Yes, yes. Many people have seen a Maslow hierarchy of needs, and it's simple. What does it say? Our needs graduate after the other. The first physiological needs we always looking forward is shelter, food, clothing. They are the basic. You can't do without. You can't survive without. Once you attain that, you start being concerned of your safety. Is my job safe? How am my home? Well, your needs graduate. After now you take care of the safety needs, you start now caring about social needs, friends, family, love and belonging. Where do I belong? The friends I have, the sense of connection. Who are the people do I maintain? Then you start to worry over something else we call self-esteem, esteem needs. Yeah, esteem needs, you're like, what's my self-esteem? What's the status do I have in the society? What's the respect to know when people interact with me? What's about freedom of time? Do I have freedom? You know, in terms of recognition. When I enter here, do people recognize me? You know, those are the things you start. It's normal. It's a human being. After you take care of that, then you go to what we call self-actualization. There you become the most one you can be. The people out there, our leaders, our politicians, you see them at the top and all that. They've met all this, the name, most of them, they want those positions for the name. Yeah? Prestigious, whatever. But also, on self-actualization, you are going beyond like what our brother has said here. Whatever you're doing, like he's in the forest, conservation of forest. He's doing that thing to conserve the ecosystem, the whatever, the environment and what the dangers that can come if we have deforestation. You go beyond and that, and then you can even dedicate your money towards conservation. Those are the needs you start to care as you move up. But now, you look around and sometimes you see someone sleeping outside there. It's raining or under the bridge. And you start to wonder, is this person concerned about their safety? Sometimes they have even the children. And you wonder, how do they survive without getting pneumonia? How do they survive without getting whatever? You know, you are concerned. Why? Because for you, you have taken care of your physiological needs. It's not a problem to you. Them, they have not managed the physiological needs. So they don't care even about self-esteem. They don't care about how people take them. But now then you ask yourself a question. What's the difference between me and that person there? Is it because I have a job? That today I am waking up, I'm going to this company, I'm paid a salary, I am able to maintain my lifestyle. If I lose this income, between me and that person who is on the street, what's the difference? I'm not asking this to scare you, but just to tell you, you need to, as you move this self-actualization, you need to think of how you are covering yourself. And the first thing is, the next slide is, we came up with 4 portfolios. And these portfolios, next, this portfolio, yes, this one. We came and said, you need a lifestyle portfolio. Lifestyle portfolio is supposed to kind of protect you in case you lose your active income. You are not exposed. Your basic needs you are able to meet. Food, shelter, clothing. You are able to meet. During the COVID came and we saw a lot of massive movement, migration. People moving from high end to where their income dictates them to be, or even others moved to the village. So unfortunate. But why? Because they could not afford, or the source of income was not there, and they could not afford the physiological needs. What if they had a lifestyle portfolio at individual level? As a company, I spoke of what we did before COVID. Having a portfolio that is invested and pays even our salaries. But this person, what if they had a portfolio that is able to give you 50,000 a month? Your lifestyle will not change. Where the friends you maintain will not change. Because like most for people, the people you are attracting, sometimes you attract because of the level you are today. If you lose the income you have, there are people you'll not see in your life. They'll feel like you are burdened. But how do you make sure that you don't have that shift? It is by having a lifestyle portfolio. And it's a journey. We say a lifestyle portfolio you need to start building your lifestyle portfolio the day you got your first income. You need to build it. And it's not late, you can build it today. And how you do it, it's kind of it's replacing your income, your active income. You know, I earn my salary, my expenses are like 50,000 or 100,000. Then you say, I want to work on a journey. The money that goes to the expenses, I have a portfolio that is generating the same money for me. So that even if I say I want to transition, like I have a client of mine, she wanted to take a career break in a higher position in the corporate and all that. And if you go even at YouTube, there's that testimony of that client. And she called me and we sat down. And she told me, I have the money, but I feel like I'm getting a burnout from work. I want to take a career break for like 5 years. And this was like 2.5 years ago. And we said, what do you need? We checked the lifestyle, how much she'll need when she's on a career break, and we designed a portfolio. And aggressively, she started putting money to make sure she's able to replace that and have active income. As we speak, she just called me and the other day she told me, but they have done a video on taking a career break. For me, it was success. She's currently in US, taking her time there, doing a bit of consultation, a bit of whatever, and she's away from the corporate, whatever they had, she was doing even 8 to 10 board meetings and all those things, and were weighing her down. She couldn't do it. So she planned her career break. So you can do that by planning a lifestyle portfolio. The next portfolio we talk about is a security. Security portfolio, the things like education, as I've said, this is a project of 18 years, 20 years, 22 years. How do you go about securing education for your loved ones, for your children? Healthcare, it comes with a lot of obligations. Maybe you have a medical. How do you end up servicing these premiums, insurance premiums? Do you have an investment that can give you a passive income? And beginning of the year, we need to renew our family. Maybe you are lucky today, you're employed, the company provides you an insurance. A time will come, maybe you don't have the opportunity or privilege. Can you afford that? Can you have a passive income that can pay your premiums? Emergency. Do you have an emergency fund that can take care of this? And lifestyle portfolio and emergency are different. We're talking of in case of anything happening, maybe a 3 to 6 months, do you have an income that can be able to last within that? So, next. Yeah, so in security, home ownership. The journey I'm talking about, you may not be privileged to have a good mortgage that will give you a better rate, but you can work out a plan and say, I want to build a home. In how long? The next 5 years. How much will I need? If I invest this money today on a monthly basis and earn this return, is my goal achievable? If it's not yet, then you say, I need 1 more year. You add that 1 more year. But what I'm trying to show you is the money you have has power to liberate you, to redeem you from over-relying of active income that every day you have to work to earn. You can build that portfolio. So education, family holiday, like what you can say, saying family vacations. Do you go for a vacation because it's the time or you have time to go? If in a year, you'll do a holiday, can you have a sinking fund? You break down how much do you need in a year for that holiday, can you start putting there? Not that it's now September, I've not taken my family for a holiday, I am now stopping everything to the holiday. Then when you come, you find yourself to borrow to be able to survive the rest of the month. Or you're breaking another investment like education to take a holiday. So you need to plan on a security portfolio. Those two portfolios are very, very important. As you build your wealth, as you move up, those two, lifestyle portfolio, security portfolio, are very essential because they are like, they give you a floor. In case you are going up and you come down, how down can you go? It provides you that caution and you're like, between this, my security is good, my lifestyle is good. You may have a home today and you say, that is sorted. Then what next? Is education covered? Is healthcare covered? Including the healthcare, the health status of your loved ones. If you have a parent that you're supporting, the least you can do is to give them an NHIF. I know we have had challenges with the NHIF paying and all those things, but the least you can do is an NHIF. Because if you're building wealth and your loved one that you support, they fall sick, you'll be forced to liquidate your investment to take care of them. And then you'll be starting your journey again. But what if you covered them? If you're in a position to cover them well, do it. Get them an insurance, cover their health, whatever. But in case you are not, then you can take the basic you can do. Yeah? Like an NHF, having them an NHF. So security portfolio, lifestyle, security, very important. Then we move to something else. We say this person has graduated their needs now. It's their position in the society. It's what they care. They want a good name. They want a holiday home. They want a luxury car. They want a holiday home. And we say this person can have an aspirational portfolio. Aspirational portfolio, first of all, you have taken care of the basic. The foundation is good. Now you can go and pursue those aspirations. They are wants. They are things that you're saying, I want to have a good life. Like I said, there's a client of ours who changes car 3 years' time. Our life is moving on well. Not a car, it's a machine. 3 years' time from the portfolio, the interest we pay this client. Why not? They have covered everything and they don't have even debts they are servicing. They are good. But it's also taken time. The journey we've walked with this client, you're looking over 10 years to get there. So, aspiration portfolio is good, but what the challenge are we currently having? We are having people portraying kind of an aspirational lifestyle while they have not covered themselves in terms of their lifestyle and security. Anything they have, in case they lose an income, the source of income, you'll find them. They are even, the car, the houses, and everything they had is taken away by the bank. Because how do they finance that kind of a lifestyle? Credit. If the active income is removed, they don't able to sustain that. So we say, plan as you go up, plan that. The last one is a legacy portfolio. And a legacy portfolio there, it is about estate planning. You know what I was saying? Like for the brother and sister whose mother left a portfolio, how have you planned in case you're not there? Or you've worked for the next 30 years or 40 years. How are you planning to transition your wealth? How is it going to benefit your children? Maybe you are learning a business and you say, I'll give them a business and all that. And as I said, they may not have the experience. We've seen big brands, supermarkets going down, big families being auctioned, and they had good money. The moment the one where the vision dies, they end up being even auctioned and taking each other to court. What if there was an investment that you had dedicated with an investment professional that is able to pay a passive income? And the children we have, as now we are thinking of lands, the children we have, they are talking of technology. Their age, at our age now then, they'll be very advanced. They will be wondering what kind of asset you are holding that you thought is for their retirement. They wonder. But if you had cash flow, if you had an investment that is giving cash flow, they will be very interested. They will be very interested. They will know this is what we needed. So legacy portfolio needs to be planned. You need to have that and managed by investment professionals. Next. And I think the TV took somehow. I don't know whether we have an MC to tell people to stand up. How many to stretch? I've realized. Yes. People to stretch as I wind up. I go to the Q&A. We have
Thank you.
2 more slides.
Asante Bwana Moses. Tumpigie makofi Bwana Moses. Asante sana. Nitaomba tunyanyuke kwa viti vyetu, nitaomba tunyanyuke. Kulikuwa na ngwashe hapo. Kulikuwa na mahamri. Kuna watu wanapima shamba kuelekea kushoto, wengine kulia. Kindly, if you've not registered at our registration desk under this roof, please do so. We want to know how many people came to the Man Up conference. So basically, if you've not registered, tafadhali, let's register at that far corner. Sawa sawa. Hapo tuko sawa. Ama pia katika kuongea kidogo energize. Aya, nitaomba tujipe nafasi. Pali huko jipatie nafasi. Jipatie nafasi kidogo. Naona tayari ndugu yetu ameshaanza Wazete hapa, ndugu yetu Wazete kameanza. Haya, tutaendelea na mwenzetu hapa mbele. Asante Bwana Mwanja. Si tuko sawa sasa hapo? Injinia hapo ni sawa? Injinia Mwangi tuko sawa? Asante. Tumkaribishe tena Bwana Moses. Asante. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I see 4 now active to receive the information. We go next. So, creating a passive income. So I've talked of the 4 portfolios: lifestyle, security, aspiration, and a legacy portfolio. You need them. Very, very important. But how do you create? I have just an example of a portfolio that you can build in a given period of about how many years? This is about 15 to 20 years period if you have that enough time. The decision you make will vary depending on how much the time you have. So if you go back to the portfolio, with the commitment, let's say you are earning an income of 200,000, you are able to pay yourself between 25 to 30%, which can maybe, let's say, 60,000 going to that. And if you are able to commit, it's not an insurance plan, I'm saying a portfolio. You're building a portfolio, and you're able to do 60,000. It's not a compulsory that every month you have to put. But for the projection and the need we have here, we want to build a passive income. You need to commit to that goal. It's, as I said, you are the driver's seat. It's you. This is your plan. So you commit to it. If you don't follow that plan, it means your goal will take longer. So if you take just 60,000 and invest in a money market fund, I don't know, let me explain what's a money market fund. In simple terms, the way you go to a bank and open the basic account, it's a current account, right? Where you can transact with that account. When you come to the investment, the basic investment account you can have is a money market fund. And money market fund, it is supposed to take your liquidity needs. In case you need a liquidity, you want to withdraw, you can access your money. And it's supposed to, the asset invested in a money market fund, they are assets of 1 year and below. It gives you a higher interest competitive to what you get from a bank. It gives you the lower risk for your investment compared to other investment. As I said, they say higher risk, higher return. The higher the return, the higher the risk you are taking. But as you start, the return may not be as high, but the risk is a bit lower. And something to remind you, when people tell you higher risk, the higher return, we say the higher return you should demand as an investor. Whenever you get into an investment and you realize you are in a higher risk environment that you can lose your money in the process, you need to demand a higher return so that it is able to compensate your principal before things go south, such that even if it doesn't work, you've recovered your capital. That's why you say the higher the risk, the higher the return you should demand as an investor. If you realize anything you're investing is a higher risk, demand a higher return so that it covers you. In case it goes down in a year's time or less, you have recouped your capital. So money market has the lowest risk possible. Where does it invest? It invests in the government, treasury bill, short-term bonds, commercial papers. Commercial paper are what we call private debt instrument issued by private entities. That information may not be available to the public, but as a fund manager, we know which company do we vet. Let's say like Java want to expand across Africa and have a shop everywhere, and their model is working and they have enough earnings and their business is able to support any debt they can raise, they can issue what we call a commercial paper. They are not a listed company. If it's a listed company like a BAT or Safaricom, they can do a reissue like some shares in the NSC. But because they are not a listed company, they issue a commercial paper for 1 year and below. Mostly they do 6 months, 3 months, and 9 months there. Then as a fund managers and other investment professionals, we are able to tell the quality of every commercial paper there, and we can see which one doing the band. There we are able to demand a higher return because also the risk of that company, it is higher compared to a listed company, or let's say like the company that is currently trading, or the government securities. And not to say, in investment you cannot have a zero risk. Something to tell you today. Don't go, even the government securities, they are not zero risk. They are zero risk up to the point where we say the government has avenues of either raising the tax regime to raise more money from the public. They can print money which can have an impact, a negative impact to the economy. So we are saying the government default risk is a bit lower. But there's nothing, whenever you're investing, it's a risk. Including everything is about a risk. You just need, as I said here, don't chase the returns. Look on how you manage risk in any investment you're making, because risk is everywhere, but you can reduce the risk. You can diversify the risk. There are those risks you cannot diversify. We call them systematic risk, like COVID. When COVID came, it touched every sector. Tourism, banking, whatever. Everybody was affected. That's a systematic risk. But we have another risk which you can diversify, We call it portfolio diversification. We do it for you, don't worry. That risk you can say, this one I'm reducing by investing this kind of investment and not investing all your asset in one place. If you have a real estate, it is good in your portfolio. Have a financial instrument here. Have another investment. We have even what we call alternative investment. You can have a diversified portfolio. You reduce the risk, but your returns goes up. So money market fund, that is it. Very simple. It earns on a compounding interest. The interest is compounded on a daily basis. And compounding interest is one of the wonders of the world. If I come and tell you I'm going to give you $1 million today, or I give you 1 penny, which is compounding daily, if you do the maths, you realize compounding interest takes the day. It grows in a very wonders, in a very big way. So any investment you are choosing, choose compounding interest, where interest is being reinvested and it's growing and going up. So go back to that projection I show you. I wanted to show you with a commitment of 60,000. My colleague Wycliffe is there. He'll take a good example, do a projection for us, something small. So if your investment is compounding interest of about 9% for the next 15 years, starting with the 10,000, in year 14, you started with 10,000. Year 14, you are looking at how much? You are looking at almost 35 million. Generating you how much interest in a year? 4,532,400 something. In a month, this is around 382. Are you not covered when you have a passive income of 3? You just assess how much do you earn or how much is your lifestyle needs in a month. If you have 382, is it enough to cover your monthly needs? If it's not enough, then you need to build this portfolio higher, a bit higher. If it's more, then you withdraw whatever you need, the rest keep on growing, keep on compounding. And this is your money. Anytime you need, you can access. Your capital is preserved. The money market, the fixed income, they preserve your capital. But the return is not fixed, but it compounds. So this is how this portfolio can work wonders. The beginning years, you may not see much. But get to $1 million, get to 2 million, 3 million, 10 million. And if you have a lump sum and you are trading between, including putting an apartment, let's take an example. I want to put an apartment that will cost me 50 million. And putting this into a portfolio and see which one will give me a higher return. Of course, the portfolio takes the day. You'll see a higher whatever. There is no management, whatever cost that will go. The first thing is that you need to construct this apartment. It will take you like a year. This means the money, 2 years. Yeah, he says 2 years. 2 years means you're just putting in the money before you start getting money. And then the other thing is what you call payback period. Payback period means when will you recoup back your capital? You just take the annual rent for that portfolio. For you to know when you recover, just do the monthly rent you are collecting from that portfolio in a year, and then just see how much did I invest. If you invested 50 million and you are collecting annual rent of like how much in a year? Let's say an apartment, let's even say like 3 million or 4, like 4 million in a year. Divide that, 50 million divided by 4. How long will it take you? Mr. Wekesa, put for me a projection of 50 million invested in a money market fund at an average return of like 13% or 12%. So 50 million divided by like 4 million, you are looking at around 12.5 years to say you have recouped your capital before now you start saying you are getting profit. 12.5 years. And this is a huge, because we are saying this apartment is giving you, let's say like 333,000 monthly. Let's even give it a 500,000. of, that's like 6 million, takes 50 million divided by 6 million. Looking at 8 years and 3 months, something of the sort, to recover your capital. And what is your return on investment? Another consideration you make. How much is the return on that investment? You just take the interest. 1 minute. You just take the interest, which is the rent you're getting in a year, 4 million, divide by 50. You're getting 8%, which it's good, 8%, and then add the management cost and all that comes to like 7%. Then take things like inflation. Inflation is allowed, give it 5 to 6%. What's your margin? We're looking at a margin of like 2 or 1%. And this apartment will fetch for you different locations, depending on the tenants, the features you have put, the target market you are targeting. So the more, if you're looking for the high end, the more you need to put more for it to do. If you do the affordable housing, you can get a bit of better margins. But what I'm just saying is, compare that now, Mr. Wekesa, for me. If we were to put 50 million today, put it in a money market fund, the basic one. We have other investment that will add you more. Once you have 5 million and above, we have better and greater opportunities that can grow this. And put that, check that for me in 8 years. How much would that look like? By the time you are recovering your capital, in 8 years, 8.2 or 8.5, 8 years and a half, how much would look like in terms of the portfolio, how that portfolio would look like? That would be like, you are at 115 million. That portfolio, generating your what income? 1 million. While your property is generating for you 500,000. In just being passive there. Just passive. You just monitor. You have an investment advisor working for you. And when I say this is something I do for client. We report to their client, we do it on a monthly basis. I'm reporting this is what we did. And one day for such a client means a lot because they may be making even 50,000 a day in such a portfolio, but they have built it over time. It has taken time to get there. The interest even can reduce. You can even say work with them with the 10%. If you're working with the 10%, let's say the interest has gone down, you still double the portfolio. And this money is available to take opportunities as they come. With your apartment, you are stuck. I'm not against the apartment. I'm just providing options and just saying how would a portfolio look like compared to an apartment. So in financial market, there are opportunities. And once you get to this place, you have what you call a custody account. We even open you a custody account with your bank, whereby as now you employ us like your fund manager. So we sign the contract to be a fund manager, investing your money. We agree on a return. We say, for this account, with the 20 million and above, we have what we call a managed account. And we say, this client, the return, despite the market movement, we must perform at 15%. So we grow this portfolio and we pay people. There are people every month. There are even people who say, pay me this portion of money, let the other keep on growing. This is what we are talking of financial redemption. If you have this portfolio, why would you go and get paid? Or why would you not pursue your interest? Why would you not pursue? And if this is possible, what you're just saying is a time. You are taking time. So, Mr. Wekesa, do for me a simple scenario of someone who start with how much? Give me an example. Basic. How much? 10,000. Let's do 10,000 in a period of, we see how much that would look like in like 5 years. Top-ups of 10,000 monthly. So this person has done 10,000 with a monthly top-ups of 10,000. So there's a withholding tax. That is the 10,000 minus withholding tax, which is a 15% government. Then this person goes, The first column, when you're starting off, go up, Mr. Wekesa, up there. When you're starting off, in fact, you'll earn 88 shillings the first month. But this is very sweet. 88 shillings is a passive income. That's meaning that that day you bought a bread and maybe a cake for your children, but that money didn't come from your salary. It came from the interest. But now we are saying you have not withdrawn. Your goal is long term. Let's do this for the next 5 years, how that will look like. Just 5,000, 10,000, and maybe this could be an education portfolio. And you're saying, as my son or my daughter turns this year to join school in the next 5 years, I want to see how much this portfolio will be. This portfolio will have grown to 802. Is it 802? 802,000 in 5 years' time. But now, Mr. Wekesa, do for me a total of the interest. This portfolio is generating for you 6,889 monthly. How much is the interest have you gained by investing in 5 years? In this 802, how much is as a result of interest? There. You are looking at what's that figure there? I'm not able to see. 180? 192. So call it even maybe 200,000. From your 802, you've earned around 200,000 in form of interest. So it's simple. Time is a factor. Consistency is a key. As we said, even in a business, it takes you time. In 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, how that look like, Mr. Wekesa? In 10 years' time. Just doing 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and it's growing. In 10 years' time, and you said, I'm just doing 10, the bare minimum. Maybe this child by this time is now almost, you're saying this is a high school portfolio. You have around 2.1 generating for you 18,000 monthly. And how much is the total interest for the period? For the 10 years, how much is the total interest you have earned in this 2.1 million? Because as a figure is growing, the more you see growth in your portfolio. So do for me the summation. Up, yeah. So there. How much is that figure? I can't hear. 929. 927. So you're looking of 927. You have a 2.1 and you're having almost a million. And how to know when to double your investment? Just take 72. 72 divide by the interest rate you get on your investment. So if you're investing your money and you're getting an average return of 12%, take 72 and divide by 12. It will take 6 years to double your money. If you are getting a better return of, let's say like in the current environment where money market fund are yielding 16, 17%, though this will come down at some point, you take 72 divide even by 16, 15 actually. It will take you 4 years and 8 months to double your money. So if you committed 5 million, in 4 years and 8 months, you should be talking of 10 million. You need to double your money. That's how you're growing that portfolio. And that's why I'm saying you cannot afford for someone else to do this for you. You have to monitor how that money is moving. The goal-based. Goal. What is your goal? If it's an education, you're saying, I want to take my child for their degree, maybe outside the country, or I want to give them education, Strathmore, USA, or whatever, on the public, whatever. How much? And I don't want to use my capital. I want to educate them from the passive income and whatever remains the portfolio to take care of my retirement. It is possible. You just need to start building that portfolio as early as now. Consistent. You have an income increment, add it in the portfolio. You have a bonus that has come. You have a per diem. You have been sent by employer for some assignment. You have gotten some money. That is not a free money. It's a seed that you have with you that to build your portfolio. put it there. Within no time, I've started with the client with even 15,000. And where the more you see the portfolio growing, the more you get encouragement because you are being rewarded. You keep on building, building, building. Like the client I was doing for the house, the reason why we have managed to hit the goal earlier than then, because any bonus that would come from the workplace, he'll throw it there in that portfolio. So there is a reward that you are seeing, and you're able to see these numbers on a monthly basis, even on a daily basis. So you'll be very keen to grow that portfolio. And the nature, if it's your retirement, you know how much do I need when I retire right now. And to do the math is, how much am I earning now? If I'm paid that when I'm retired, will it whatever. If you have a pension, it is not going to be enough. The inflation we are talking about, you need to supplement that pension. So the goal is, this is what we call goal-based investing. Let's go to the next slide. So you can build, once you see our investment advisors or you visit us in our office or if you currently have an advisor or where you have invested, have this discussion with your advisor or where you are investing. Have this discussion with them on how do I grow my money and what is your goal. Have this discussion with them and see how well you can be able to secure your retirement. So the next. So it is doable. Not to say that you need to have hundreds of millions, but it's a journey. It is started where? From the budgeting. The reason I was taking you budgeting, it is for you to know that 10,000, where is it coming from? When you do budget, you even realize I can even do 20. Next. So when you are investing, there are factors that you need to consider. We'd call it asset allocation. Depends on many factors, how you are investing your wealth. As we are saying, you need to diversify. You don't put all your eggs in one basket, but there are things you need to consider. How much can you accept of uncertain and risk? That's a question. People come and say, I am a high risk. But then I ask them a question. If you lose the money you have, you are saying you want to invest, is your life going to be okay? And they tell you, no. The education for my kid might stop. Then I tell them, you're not a high risk as you think. Your risk capacity, when you assess the risk capacity is, if you lose that money you're investing, how much is that? What's the impact in your life? Then you realize, I don't have much. There are people, when you hear the NSC, people have a paper loss of billions in their portfolio. Then you hear the next financial year, they have doubled their wealth. These are people with higher risk for the nini. And as your portfolio is growing, you can take more risk. Because if this asset is not performing, this one is performing. Someone comes and says, I had stock exchanges making a lot of money. I want to put money there. Then I'll tell you, with 10,000, I may not recommend you go there. Build your wealth, first of all, security, lifestyle. Then as we advance, we can diversify. Then the next factor, how long do you plan to invest your money? If you are young and you have the luxury of time, you can take as much as risk as possible. As the age is progressing, what I was showing you on the age graph, whatever, you need to lower your risk as much as possible. Passive, the stability of your income matters a lot at that time. You don't want portfolio or investment behaving. Today have money, tomorrow there's none. Next. Consider your individual situation. How much financial responsibility do you have for the future? Yeah? Obligations do you have? Is it education? Assess, just assess. And then importance of asset allocation, we create what we call a balanced risk tolerance and length of time. We take care of your time and we determine the risk that you can take. We reduce risk through diversification. Diversification is, if I have stocks, I have money market, I have fixed income, I have a real estate property, I can say I have a portfolio. If one is not performing, the other three are performing. They are able to compensate in case I make a loss here. But if the only thing I have is this 100 between me and wealth, what I need to build, diversification may not be enough. So what I tell you is you need to take time. You need to commit this to an asset that preserves your capital first. You cannot afford to lose your capital if you're investing. The question I was asked, and someone was like, people have lost money and they have given up. on investing. Why? The idea that was presented was make the returns, this is how we make the returns, but they don't tell you this is how you can lose your money. That's a question you can always ask. How was the possibility of me losing the money? So you lose the money, you had 100,000 only, which you had accumulated through savings, and then you're back to zero, and you say, investment things, I don't want to hear them. And then you continue working with no passive income. Next. So realign and adjust based on your needs. These portfolios are not supposed to be fixed, that the next 10 years you have to achieve this. No, it should align with your life. As your needs are increasing, this portfolio should be able to address those needs. When you have more financial commitment, you can reduce how much you are investing. But remember, there's a budget which is already informing. So if you are having an increased expenses, you need to assess which items that entered. If there's someone that you support and you know, monthly, I'm sending this person a support, can you have that person in your budget? But don't say that, hey, this month I haven't sent this person money. And no. First of all, when you have an income, the first thing I would advocate is assess, sit down with your budget. Allocate, and then you see, do I have money? Or is the money already, first of all, you said pay yourself. That's gone. Then pay others. Then you say, whatever is paid, in fact, for me, to say just my example, if the payday is today, if tomorrow or a few hours later you come and hack my bank, you will not find anything. It's already gone. Investment sent is already in the investment. Hit the account of housing without whatever my budget says, this amount goes, it go. Then we start debating. Kuna mtu alikuwa anataka kusaidiwa. How much can I give this person? I divide by half if my budget will allow. It's not that I'm mean, but I want to secure my tomorrow and for my kids. So you have to be deliberate about it. So have a budget. Pay your tithe faithfully. God has called you to be a steward on the budget as you come down. Take care of that. Then pay yourself. The rest now, plan. And you realize, by the way, some of the things were not emergency. You realize they were not. It's only that they were not taken through the budget. Next slide. I have 3 scenarios. And this one I call it, if you want to know how much percentage you can own of a risky or your risk with the age, this is what we say. This is a formula we say, take 100 minus your age. In this case, I'm using stocks because stocks are a bit of a high-risk asset classes because of the volatility. You cannot control how the market moves and all that. Today can be here, tomorrow has dropped. We've seen Safaricom at the highs of 41, at the lows of 11 and 12% there. What does that mean with their portfolio? It has come down. You need to give yourself time for you to recover. So take your 100 minus your age. So if your age is 50 and you are taking 100, let's go to the next scenario. Your portfolio in stock should be very low. Let's take this person here with a 22 years old, who has a 40 years to retirement. This person has a high risk tolerance. This person can lose money and recover. This person, we're saying they are interested in growing their retirement savings over the next 40 years. You have time to recover. Your retirement portfolio may look like this. 70%, you can even commit it in a high-risk assets. 25% in a stable. 5% in cash and equivalent, the one you can convert it to cash anytime. Then we have Investor B. Investor B is how old? Next. Investor B is in 40 years. This person has around 15 years to retirement. This is a moderate risk. You don't have much time. You have 15 years, we are saying, you have more than a decade to go until retirement, but you have less time to recoup any major market losses. In case you lose much, you don't have more time to say, I'll bounce back. You can, but maybe not 100%. And we are saying they are willing to take some risk and to keep their money growing, but they don't have the luxury of multiple decades to replace any money they might lose between now and the retirement. They want a diversified portfolio that will offer a modest upside, protect the capital and upside growth, and then they can have 40% in stocks, 50% in fixed income asset classes, whereby the principal is preserved and they can have what? 10% in cash and equivalent. There is a needs there at the point of the cash and all that. The last one was, it's gone. The last one is someone, let's say 50 years or 55. This person has 5 years to retirement. In 55 years, if you are losing this money, yes, we are saying actually there is an investor who have retired. They just gotten their retirement, their pension. This person, the business they venture in, they need to protect their capital. This is one speaker said here, actually it's our pastor Lucy. You don't have to wait to retire and go and start that business with what you'll be given as a retirement. You need to start it as a test the market as you can lose and recover. At this point, you go and do the matatu business with your retirement, pressure itapanda. Pressure itapanda, gari imefanya nini, sijui nini, it's going to be a lot of work. You may not have even the energy. Kulala, gari iko police station saa 7 ya usiku. And this time, you don't have much energy. So we are saying, at this time, you are beginning your retirement. Now, you are a low risk tolerance. This investor, you are celebrating the years that you've worked and you have invested. It's not the time you are starting. And we are saying you want a diversified portfolio that helps preserve your capital while offering you selected opportunities of upside. You are not chasing the returns out there, but at least a growth, a stable income. And we are saying you can have a 20% in a risky asset, like a bit of our stocks. 40% should be in stable investment that are giving you an amount that you can say in a month, I know I earn this. This money comes to me as a passive income. And then you can have cash, present please. You can have a 20% cash. At this time, cash requirement is needed. So you need to have this. So these are investors. The next slide is to assess. Now you need to assess yourself. Where are you? You have short time horizon. Maybe you're about to retire. And you are low risk appetite. You are conservative. You know, conservative means the risk you're taking should be low and you need to protect your capital at this point. If you have a long time, you are 20 years or 30 years, and you are low risk, we can say you are moderate. You can still achieve. You can lose and gain here and there because of the long term. But if you're high risk appetite, but you have a very short time horizon, to the time maybe your retirement and all that, you need to be moderate. You need to tone down. You don't have a luxury of time. And what's an investment? I even forgot to define this. An investment, we say, it's a commitment of your financial resources to an asset that with a given expectation of return at a given period of time at a certain level of risk. 3 things I've mentioned in my definition. Yeah, time. I've mentioned time. I've mentioned return. And I've mentioned risk. Those 3 things, they go together. So your time to recover when you make a loss matters a lot. How long do you have? The return you are looking for should compensate you the risk you are looking. And the goal, you should always work to reduce the risk, but not to control the return. You cannot control the return in the market. What you can control is the risk. So anytime you're working to reduce the risk for what you're investing. So, and the risk is the possibility that the likelihood of what you're expecting may not occur. The return you're expecting may not occur, or the worst can happen. That's what we say, it's a risk. Next, you're almost winding up. So you can have, yes, someone asked a question. How safe is money market fund? And this is not just NABO, it's a standard, it's an industry standard. How are money market funds regulated or fund managers? One, you have a regulator. I don't know, we tried to see, I wanted to show you, but you can visit CMA website on your own and go to a place called List of Licensees. You'll see all those written there. You'll see fund manager, click there. We have like 35 fund managers in the industry. You'll see NABO Capital there. Go to another point called Collective Investment Scheme, CIS. all the funds that are offered by by fund managers, they are all listed in the CMA. Click NABO. See, what fund do NABO have? Money market, fixed income, equity funds, they will be there as long as it's regulated. So if I come and offer you another opportunity, which is not there, then I'm offering something we call private placement offer. Private placement offer is not regulated by the CMA. In case of a loss, you have yourself to blame. But we offer it to sophisticated investor. I would say that. There are those offers we give sophisticated investor who come and say, I hear, but there's a money market fund. My risk appetite and the capacity is more. Then I go out there and look for you an opportunity whereby we can grow the money, but still if we incur a loss, it can still be a substantive in your portfolio. But it's there for such a client. So there are those who are looking for growth. There are those who are looking for passive, for protecting their capital. They are there. But the first starting point is regulated market space. Start with the regulated market space. So just return it there. The slide. So we have the CMA at the top. How CMA, the regulatory frameworks look like. CMA have this, actually it's there. You go to the list of licensees. Here they are. You can see the asset managers. The first one is called appointed institution, like NSC, CDS. When you buy shares, you have to have a CDS account. They are here. Then you go to approved institutions. Then you go next. Next is, we go next. No, on the same list, I wanted to show them the fund managers, where we fall. So the fund managers, those are all, yes, now we have investment banks, stock brokers, then we have fund managers here. Click on the fund managers, here they are, you can see them, they are there, all of them that are listed, you can see Nabo Capital, we are there. We have that list, we have like 35, I think 35. There are new companies that have joined the list. And then you go to what we call list, CIS, collective investment schemes. If you go to the CIS, it's down there. It's down, almost the second one, down. Down. CIS, yes, that one. So this one tells you, as a fund manager, what are products they have. They have also to be registered with the CMA. So this is the point. You start, go number 7. I think number 7. Go number 17. Just go down. I'll show you Nabo where we are in terms of this. There, number 17. So we are here. These are all the funds. Dollar funds, money market, Kenya shillings, balanced fund. These are the funds now we have. They are all regulated with the CMA. So when you are starting an opportunity, start here. Go next on the slide of the regulation. I'm winding up. So here, the CMA is a regulator. CMA has now the parties. It works with it to enforce regulatory in this market. And these parties, one is the custodians. CMA has a list of the banks that offer custody services. Because we are not a deposit-taking institutions like a bank, fund managers, CMA requires to work with a bank that keeps the money, the client's money. So when you deposit, the money goes to the custody. NABO, we are notified. Mr. Charles has transferred this amount of money in the custody, in the money market fund. Then we tell the custodian, invest this money, and we are investing with the guidelines given by a CMA. CMA gives a guideline and say, every fund manager, you should not hold more than 25% of the asset in 5% of the money in one asset class. So we tell them, we're investing this money in a money market fund, buy a treasury bill, a bank deposit negotiated, they move the money. Then we have someone else here called trustee. Trustee is very important. Trustee protects your interest as an investor. So when you're engaging with that money market provider you have, check who are their trustee. Trustee is the one who safeguards your interest. And in a legal framework, we say trustee is the legal owner of the asset being managed by the fund manager, while clients are the final beneficiary. In case of a legal suit or issues, the trustee should even be the first person to report such an irregularity. And there is an auditor. An auditor is also in the panel of the CMA. So this is a list you are provided by the CMA. You choose. Like our trustee, we work with KCB Bank, Our custodian is the Stanbic Bank. Our auditors are Grant Thornton. In case of any, they feel like even investor, in case or even trustee feel like NABO is not complying with the guidance of the CMA on how to guidelines on investing, they report directly to the CMA, or they can withdraw their license. And if a fund, a trustee or a custodian withdraw their license, it means as a fund manager you should not collect more money. You should not continue with operations. So the CMA steps in at that point. In case of irregularity, the CMA should step in at that point. And even client can fire a fund manager, can say, we don't want NABO. We feel NABO is not doing investing according to our interest, and whatever the CMA does the investigation, that fund can be moved to another fund manager because the money is not with the fund manager. Fund manager, we only get a management fee of the asset we are managing. So we are getting a 2.25% of the returns we are making for you, and then we give you the returns, we get our management fee. So that fund can be moved. Like currently, our money market is around 2.7 billion. This fund, it is constituted of many investors, different. We are making a return of 16%, having gotten our management fee. So investor get their return. Someone had asked me about the return. So that's what we are performing. So we go next. Next. So this is the thing. Trustee, custodian, it's a framework on its own. Our funds, let me just show you. I've shown you from the CMA website what we have. So we have these funds like money market, fixed income, balanced fund, and equity funds. I've arranged them that in the way of risk. How risk are they? The lowest you have a money market fund. Lower risk, has no shares, invest in bonds. There's no issue fee to have. There's no redemption fee when you want to withdraw. We can charge up to 2.5 by the CMA guidelines, but we charge 2.25%. And we recommend, at least in a 3 months time, if you have money, maybe it's a transaction you are doing, instead of that money lying idle in the bank, put that money in a money market fund. And some interest. We have even lawyers who are doing big transactions and they keep that money somewhere there. It's earning as with the whole transaction. It earns the institutions, company. You have this project you're about to complete. People, I have clients who are even in construction. They are given maybe some business, they are doing some roads or they are doing labor, and they tell me this money I'm keeping here, I'll be coming for it in 3 months' time. I'm starting this project here. Once it's done, I bring capital. By the end of the year, you look at how much I've made for that client, they have generated a passive income for the business. So when we talk about treasury solution, this is what I've been talking is for the individuals. But you are in business. You know when you receive your money and how you are spending this money, and you know what is your reserve as a business. How can you grow that reserve such that you can even reduce that cost of debt that you are taking maybe from the bank, and your business able to even finance organically itself? So that's a good strategy. You can take advantage of our, we call it a treasury solutions. We have companies that we are working with, and we generate for them a better returns as a company level. As a chama, as I said, you have a merry-go-round, it's a high time to convert it to an investment chama. You want to give value for the members, for you as a members, you want to see your money growing, it is a time convert that to an investment chama. The money remains, it's yours, but the money is growing. As an individual, it is a time to think of how do you continue building your wealth and doing a bit of an analysis that you have done. So fixed income, balanced fund, equity funds, the risk keep on growing. By the time you get to equities, equities is a fund that invests in stocks. You say, I don't know which stock to buy, but I can invest in a fund that is managed by an investment professional. They buy stocks and they give you, but the returns there or the capital is not preserved because these are stocks. So that risk keep on growing. So you can see where do you fit in that journey. Next. Next steps, how do you start investment is engaging us, what we require from you. Next. These are copies of ID. The process is not hard. So Q&A, I think I'll stop there. Our time is gone. The requirement. When you want to open an investment account, it's simple. We require a copy of your ID or passport, And if you have even your relatives in diaspora who are looking forward to invest back home, I know people in diaspora have lost money, and we have a huge portion of our diaspora client, and the discussion we have, some of them are looking forward to come back home, but they don't have anyone or someone they can entrust with their portfolio or investment. They invest in this. We are reporting to them what they are when they are on the other side, and they're able to see how they are growing. And when I say this, I have a client of mine, we met 2020. This client of mine, he was in US 18 years, and he told me, Moses, I'm tired. He has some good money that was seated in a bank. He told me, I want you to give me a plan that I want to relocate back in Kenya. Whatever I am making here, even if you not match how much I'm earning, at least plus some rental income I have, I'll have that income. And we started with the money he had. And every month, he would top up. And I think, when was this? This must be 2023. This client came back. He told me, I've put things in a container, my whatever, everything, it is coming. I'm spending a month here, saying hi to people, saying bye and all that, and then I'm coming. And the client came, and he's happy back home. The opportunity is here. He's doing so well. The first year when he came, he told me, I'm not doing anything. Just pay me a salary in the first 1 year as I figure out where to commit. As we speak, the guy has a project that is currently running, a good transitioning back home. You know, you don't have to come back when you are tired, you are retired, and, you know, you coming back to start at zero and thinking out, what can I do in Kenya? This portfolio can work for you. Next. So these are the requirements. I think what to add to say is, if you're looking forward for transition to business and you're wondering where is the capital is in your budget. You can get part of that capital and invest here for that goal that you are looking forward. For creating a passive income, maybe you're a busy doctor, you don't have enough time to monitor or to run another business or whatever. You are so busy in whatever. This portfolio can be your business. It can give you a passive income. So it's your choice to look at what you want. I know I had a lot of questions I was asked, but I will give it to the moderator now to advise.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Tusimame. Watu wanapima shamba hapa wengi. Ile ngwashe tulikula pamoja na. Haya, patia mwenzako high five. High five ni hapa juu jameni. High five ni hapa juu. Wengine wanasalimiana chini bana. Ule nitamwona akisalimiana chini atakuja afanye press ups. Haya, subiri. Ule tutaona akipatiana salamu ya chini, tutamuita hapa mbele afanye press ups. High five ni ya hapa kama vile nafanya na Mose. Sawa. Na unaipeleka juu. To go high five. Ule apigi high five pale. Peter, nikuite hapa. Asante, let's take our seats. Come on, let's appreciate Moses again for the second session that he has taken us. Let's appreciate him more. Thank you, Bwana Moses. Now, as we gear up to, kwa Kiswahili tunasema tunapojiandaa kwenda kushtaki njaa. Wangapi wanafahamu kushtaki njaa? Wangapi upande wanafahamu kushtaki njaa? Asante. Mulandi, kushtaki njaa ni kufanyaje? Kula mlo, asante. Mpigie Bwana Mulandi makofi. Hiyo ndio kushtaki njaa. Kwa hivyo kwa sasa nataka kabla ya tuende kushtaki njaa, nitaomba tuulize maswali. Kuna maswali yale ambayo hayakuwa yamejibiwa kikamilifu ama kitimilifu. Nitaomba Bwana Moses, kwa sababu hii ndio session tuko nayo ya mwisho. Kisha baadaye tutawaruhusu wake zetu, wadada wetu, wamama wetu. So nitauliza ndio tuwe watu ambao tumekuwa na usawa. Tumruhusu ndugu Moses ajibu hayo maswali, na kama kuna mengine bado tuulize, alafu ndio tuende kushtaki nje. Hapo ni sawa? Muulize mwenzako, hapo ni sawa? Asante. Tumpigie makofi tena Bwana Moses anapojibu maswali.
Thank you. Actually, I think I've answered many questions as I was doing the second session, because like one of them was on the regulatory framework. That is what I've just explained. If you go for the SACCOs, who regulates the SACCOs? SACCOs are regulated by SASRA. Yeah? SASRA is the one that is a body that regulates. The way we come to the banks, microfinance, they are regulated by the CBK. So these are government agencies. CMA to the investment, including Nairobi Security Exchange, is an institution which is under Capital Market Authority, but a CMA, the framework is more of that of a self-regulating. You may not know, the NSC, you may not know it's regulated by a bigger body, but it's under Capital Market Authority. Investment groups, yes, investment groups, you can invest, and it's just a simple process. If you are registered, maybe you have a PIN and you have a certificate. We just need the signatories, and you can open the account for the group, and the email for the group, and the members can be depositing, and every month you're communicating to this chama. If it's not registered, you can open it as a joint, whereby few people or signatories can be there. The members can also be the signatory and open it, and you give a minute to confirm the full members of the chama, and the minutes to capture that you agreed to invest in a money market fund. It's very possible. There's a question on pension, how to assess or to know how your pension is performing. One, you need to know who is your administrator. Who is your administrator? We have different administrators. We have like Zamara and all that. And if you write to them an email, they should tell you, they should even email you your pension balance. You should see. Sometimes when you change employer, you leave your pension there, you change, you go where. So you say you had a pension here and there. It's all scattered. It's a time you go and see how you can consolidate. You need to monitor that pension. It is your retirement. A part of your money is their contribution plus your employer that you have done. And if you don't have, you can build a retirement portfolio, like what I'm explaining. You just need to know, as an investor, the issue of discipline is not a problem. If you're looking for long term, you just need to be disciplined enough to know this money is for my education, for my kids. And even if I have an urgent need right now, I cannot touch. You don't require to be locked for 10 years to make sure that you have the discipline. I would say, as an investor, the discipline should be the first key aspect, or one of the characteristics of an investor. Very disciplined. Despite the urge to spend that money today, you know this is money for my retirement, this is money for the education. Even if I have to forego this thing, I'll have to forego. But you can't say you are building an education portfolio for the kids, an opportunity present yourself, unasema hii pesa si ni mimi tu, ninakuanga ninatafuta toa, nunua nitajenga tena. The time is running, so discipline and get to know this investment, how, by when. So pension, get in touch with your administrator. You need to check your employer, you can ask who is your administrator for the pension, and you can get in touch with even through the HR. If you are able to ask, you can be able to see who is the administrator. You can write to them, and you're able to see your pension. And the transfer of pension is easier. You can, if you're currently having a certain administrator and you left it into whatever, there's an in-transfer that is done. There's a form you're given by the current one. You give it to the other administrator. The money is moved to the current one, so that you're able to see that figure. How much do you have? And it really, you might be thinking you have enough pension, then you realize your needs right now are skyrocketing. And then at retirement, you realize this pension is so small, will not be enough. So when you're doing assignment I gave to a budget, a net worth analysis, go and try to consolidate all that you have. When you're doing your net worth analysis, that pension is part of your assets, or your asset that you have. You need to put it there. Then there was a question on the performance of money market fund. We publish our rates on a newspaper not just for NABO, it's all the fund managers. We publish not daily, but at least in a week you can see it twice or thrice. You're able to see how the fund managers are doing, and you're able to compare. Visit our website, you are able to see that. And also in terms of where are we located, if you want to come to NABO to visit us, we are located at International House. Used to be called International Life House. It's International House, just opposite Hilton. If you come to 5th floor, we are there. You'll find us, NABO Capital. You'll find our team. We'll take you through. We'll work with you. The issue is not even having a money market fund. The goal is first to understand where you're coming from and what is your goal. Yeah? Then you may find that you're not ready to invest, but you have some debts you need to restructure to enable you get money to invest. Or you may realize you even have money to invest, but you've been thinking you don't have money. You've been saying, I'm looking for another job or another business, I start investing. You may realize when you sit down and assess, there is money there that you can start the business. The other question was on the T-bills, T-bonds, and also NSC. Nairobi Security Exchange, I would say, it's a market and brings investors on one side, investors, the whole buyers and sellers. You're either selling your securities, either you have stocks, you're going to sell, you'll see if you have a broker or you have an account. To open such an account, you need a broker. If you don't have one, in that list I showed you, there's a brokers there. If you don't have one, we can always guide you to get one or invest in our equity funds. All first of all is to assess, is your risk there? Do you have enough to go into that market? So it's a discussion on its own. Yeah, I think I'm done with those questions. Yeah, taking new questions.
Any more questions, please, from the second presentation? Yes.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
So my name is Shalom. I have 2 questions, and the third one, I don't know if it's a question. So I am a fresh graduate. I wanted you to give me advice as a fresh graduate who does not have cash flow. What can I do, or what type of investments I should look at? And then the second one, you mentioned about market volatility. I just wanted to ask now, if I want to invest, how do I approach the market volatility and in this current economy, and also the strategies that I can use to mitigate high volatility, so that when I make an investment decision, it is a sound one. And then the third one, if you guys, this is to you and anyone else, have an entry level or internship opportunities for one to stay under you guys and learn, I would also appreciate. Thank you.
Wow.
Asante, makofi kwa dada yetu. Nani mwingine? Okay.
Okay, thank you. My name is Bridget, and I wanted you to comment some areas you talked about ages of retirement, how the risk it is. So is it right? For example, we have some insurance companies like Preterm that are focusing on securing your retirement, in that they ask you to invest so that the moment you retire, you start earning your money. They ask you to pay maybe a premium of 5,000, 3,000, so that by the time now when you retire, you start earning monthly. Is it right to invest there? And then there is another investment. For example, if you have you have a plot and you have a title deed, and you want maybe to invest in apartments, maybe you need 5 million, then you go to, for example, in housing corporation, whereby they tell you, you surrender your title deed, they build the houses that you want, then once they are finished, they earn 60%, and then you earn 40%. What is your comment about that? Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I think I'll answer those 2 first. Let me start with our sister. She mentioned about what will be the best business for a fresh graduate. First of all is, yes, you're looking for for the internship opportunity. But in the meantime, I've seen people taking advantage of the online. And people selling things online, even when you don't have a capital. Where you are linking the supplier on this end, and on this side, I have some things sometimes I buy. You realize this guy just posts something in a WhatsApp group I created for some investors to support and sources those things at a good price, put the catalogs and gives the price, and you promote that person. They take from the supplier, they deliver to you, pay, they get a margin, and they return. And they are doing even a good margin than someone owning a shop in the CBD. Just a margin on that. And you just need to create, some of them doing even on TikTok, there's messages on those, whatever. The Instagram, it's a good selling channel. I've seen people making business that. Facebook is also a tool that people are monetizing. And you realize even the people with a shop, when they realize there's no traffic, and I know we have people here, people have gone a bit of digital. People are buying even from Mombasa. You're sending a luggage from Nairobi to Mombasa, and you're transacting. So that would be a good opportunity that you can look at it in the meantime as you also look for the investment opportunity. For the internship, yes, we do offer internship, but they are always advertised through if you check the Centum website, what I will advise is, our group company is called the Centum, so hiring and all that is done from our mother company. So just go there, there's a portal where you create an account, and in case the jobs are posted, you get from there. So of course, hiring is a budget driven, so there's always a need, not every time you're hiring, but when opportunities are opening, you'll see it there. So even the other thing is, as you look for this opportunity, you just need to do your CV. Your CV says a lot. Sometimes you can engage these CV writers. I have seen people like corporate staffing. They may ask you like 2,000 or other 1,500 for your CV, but the CV, it looks presentable because it speaks out there, and they will even give you a book on how to look for some of these career tips. So even as you go out there approaching websites and you're looking forward, and also networking. Sometimes these jobs and opportunities are not advertised. Sometimes I find it like they're advertising what they already do to tick the box. So networking, the people you are networking with and all that, very important. Your LinkedIn page just need to have it in a professional way, done in a professional way, from the profile photo and what you've done, the whatever, and as you start, depending on the area you are in. So it's doable, but that journey, you need to how to plan yourself, to prepare for yourself. And as you look forward for get the income and start investing, I would say when you're starting the journey, start with the low risk investment, like a money market fund. There you don't have volatility you need to manage. We are doing it for you. Fund managers are doing for you. So whatever is invested, it's us to know which securities we are buying, which we are selling. So we manage that volatility for you. But in case you are that huge and you have gone higher in the market, then there you need an advisor also to work with you to plan selected securities that will be able to reduce that volatility. So that would my answer to that. For Bridget asked about the retirement. And yes, we're in the same space. And what they are trying to sell you is that assurance of, like, when you retire, you'll be getting a certain amount of money. This is a portfolio I am talking about here, building with a fund manager. Only that on the other side, you are committing yourself for, let's say, 10 years, and they tell you this is how much you do. But then the question is, do the math, how much will you put in? Because that's always the question. How much am I putting in if my retirement is 10 years' time, and I am told I put 15,000 or 10,000, do the maths, 15 times 12 times 10, how much is that portfolio would be, and how much it will pay me? If it's a drawdown fund, how long will I draw from that fund? And you can always tell what is the growth. We'll ask for the growth. The issue is not even how much you'll be paid. The issue is the growth. Because you can be paid 5,000 at the end of the day, you realize you are paid only 200 shillings on top of what you invested as a principal. But the inflation is high, such that even if you are paid there, it is not enough. And as I said, insurance is there too. We call it to indemnify, take you to your previous position before the loss occurred. For the investment, I would rather tell you approach their asset management and see what they have in their asset management, in their investment side, and work out such a plan. That would help. Only that you need to be disciplined to know this is how much. If they are telling you they will pay 10,000, sit down with an advisor and tell them, do for me if I were to invest even in a money market fund without withdrawing in the same period, how much will I withdraw? Yeah. So for other risk, yes, life, insurance, property, medical, and all that, definitely have an insurance cover for that. The plots, yes, that's something you mentioned about if you have a plot. I think this is more of a joint venture whereby you're providing land and they are providing the capital, and then you decide how long do you have to. So you just need to know equivalent to how much value is your land. If you're putting out that land and say this 60% they are taking, they will take it after how long? Because of course, they are not there to make a zero return. You have to get in and make a return if I'm putting my capital up front. So, and also you need to see how many successful stories do you have or someone who have done this and how it is looking like. Because now you can commit your land and then we are talking of the next 20 years, correct 15, 60%, correct 40. The main beneficiary may be your children. The people who benefit with such. So you need also to see if there are other options of investing and the returns you get. If it's you're in a circle, if you have to take a loan on a development loan on a reducing balance, put this house, how much are you going to collect in form of rent compared to the interest you're going to pay for that loan? So those are the maths you do and assess, is it a good to go for it or not? So that's something I'll say you need a bit to sit down. It's a one-on-one case that you can consider. Yeah.
We'll receive another question from Dr. here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Moses, for your presentation. My name is Linus Wafula. Among the goals of investment you've showed us, there were 6. I'm interested in the 6th one, which is a generational wealth transfer, where I keep saving for purposes of giving inheritance to my offsprings. Now, my question or concern is, what do we do to avoid a scenario that you gave? An example, you've been toiling so much, sweating, investing for these youngsters. In the event that you are not there, number one, they start fighting over it where they go to court, or if they don't go to court, they share well, but they start selling them off. How do we overcome such a scenario? 2, still connected on the same, you talked about family trust, where you can trust that wealth to an entity that will manage it for your offspring when you are not there. There was a case of this tycoon who died called, sorry to mention his name, but I'll mention for the sake of explanation, Jenga Karume. He had a family trust where the trust was managing his wealth. When he died, instead of the children fighting among themselves, they were now fighting with the trust for the control of this wealth. How does one overcome that where you are not there, but your children are now fighting with the people you entrusted to manage the wealth for you? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Linus. Those are good questions on the legacy portfolio. And the first one on you've been working hard for the next 35 or 40 years, and you've been building this portfolio. So how you're building that portfolio is very key. One of the things I would say, as you are investing your money, the education, financial education comes into place. Apart from just investing the portfolio and building it for them, the financial education, the financial literacy, why you are doing it. Because as where we are coming from, me, I only knew my dad will provide this when you ask, when you don't know when even there is money. But sometimes you see things are so good this time, ni kama kuna kakitu nyumbani. So he don't even know what he was doing to give us whatever. So sometimes as men have built all this, they are in darkness, then they come to realize, mzee had money na amekuwa akitunyima. So in that bitterness, trying to revenge what they are not getting and the money is on their hands, they will use that money. They will squander and that money is gone. But in a situation whereby, and this is something I'm encouraging parents, the financial education. We are teaching them chemistry, mathematics, whatever. The financial education is very important. How do you hold them accountable even when you give them an assignment and you reward? You can always tell this person the interaction of money, the interaction of this one with money, it's going to be a nurturing. So a bit of education will be good. Books, financial education books. We have information currently online, the channels, like our YouTube channel. And I realized I visited a client of mine, and when we were talking, the child was like, we know Mr. Pius Mushiri. And I was like, this is a 5 years kid. Kumbe, they've been watching with the parents our YouTube channel where our MD talks a lot about these portfolios. And she even said that you pay yourself, the one who says you need to pay yourself first. Then I realized this is a transformation. The kind of that child is growing to be is a responsible someone. The money is not a new term. You know, the money is not a transactional. I have money, transact, everything is done and go back. So financial education, it is required for us as a parent. How you reward them, let them know you are rewarding on their effort. Whatever they do, you are rewarding. And the best thing is when you are making this investment, like there's a client of ours, she comes to our office with the children and they know what the mother is holding. So these people, they are not like, our mother has a 50 million. They are surprised. No, they have seen it. They have known what the mother is worth. So even if the mother is gone, it's not be a surprise that kumbe we have a lot of this money. They will be seeing this portfolio growing. So involve them in a simple way as they mature and all that, engage them. So you avoid these wrangles and the competition. And as a family, you know, this one can take care of the others, this one and all that. And of course, we pray for all of them to be responsible, but also we have to play our role. And the other role is, the other thing is, if this is what I've seen with the people for family, how they are doing, some of them, they open a company whereby the wife, the children, all of them are shareholders. And they get no affairs of that company. Whatever they own, they have a property, they have whatever, it is there. It may seem like it's a complicated thing, but they know. There is a family company, and this is what we have and all that. They know. Of course, we are always afraid that wakijua niko na pesa mingi, there will be extra whatever. No. It's a discipline that you instill. No matter, because the shock they will find themselves is, we have the money, we have the time, you are not there. What do we do? Squander that money, lifestyle, whatever. So you can have them as a shareholder in that case and work with them when they know the passive. Like another case we have is a client also. He passed on, and the wife, the children, they were doing a school. He had a portfolio, and they had a school, and the mzee had a plan of expanding this school. And we worked with those clients until the day they were even launching the high school. And even right now, as they are collecting revenue from that, it comes back to this portfolio where they were drawing down. So that portfolio, even if the mother is not there, they are involved, they are hands-on, they're involved. The way we see, I've seen people, and it's something I've seen even with the people in the marketplace who give their stories, how they were involved by their mother. I think one of the clients, someone was speaking, is a lawyer, and was saying how on a weekend they would work in their father's office. You are doing filing, you are doing this. They interacted with the office from the word go. So they grow knowing the work, how you do. So office is not a new thing. So when also it comes to money, introduce them as it is. So that even as we are talking, and we are saying, if you look at why you're finding people fighting the trustee, it is the interest. I want all this money, even if the money was left under trustee. I want to share. But if they realize the value, like what example I gave, we still manage the portfolios of like the chairman. And we report to the children. And the portfolio has continued to grow. And we have never seen any signs of competition and all that. It's done in a professional way. So involve an investment professional in the journey. As you set up the trustee, they should be able to know what is the need of this, and they're able to know the interest of the trustee. Even themselves, they should know what is their role in this world and all that. And even the other partner. When we say 1 + 1 is equals to 3, it is very important. Let's not do things blindly. We've seen a man where he has passed on abruptly because of illness. The wife is out there with a file trying to trace what he had invested. If she's not lucky, some part of those investment may end up in what we call what? The unclaimed assets. Yeah? You had money, you had assets to realize that then your family end up not even having a good life when you had assets that would be able, or you even had bought some lands with other people which you didn't disclose to your family. It is very, very important. And us in the kingdom, I would say when the two are doing it together, becomes easier and there's a growth. So I would say education is very important, and that aspect of form a company, it's one of our way. Involve an investment professional. Let that journey start as it is. Let them not just discover kumbe mzee had billions of money. It's our time now to share or to fight. Yeah. So let's that maybe we can always discuss on a one-on-one maybe. Okay.
Okay, any other question? You're getting such...
Next slide, the one that has our contacts. I would like to... next. Yes, I don't know whether these numbers are visible, but these are our contact. This is mine. Mine is 0724635. That's Moses. And we have my colleague, Hirare Hagai, 0783 167 014. 0783 167 014. I have for Wycliffe Wekesa, 0728 710 495. 0728 710 495. And also visit our website, Nabo Capital, and our YouTube channel, Nabo Capital. There's a good content for you there. There's a lot of good content there. Visit us in our offices, and yeah, we are ready to work with you in this journey of financial redemption. Yeah? Or mine is 0724 301 635. 0724 301 635. Just return on the other page for Hirari. Yeah, they are visible now. You can see them. 0783 167 014. And these are our emails. Mine is m.juguna@nabocapital.com. For Hirari is h.hagai@nabocapital.com. And for Wekesa is w.simiu@nabocapital.com. We are able to engage on that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just stay there, Moses. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to believe getting such a resource, like a day like this, is not so very easy. I want to believe there are those people who go for such sessions and they pay for it. For us here, the men's ministry have organized for us. So I would want to ask that if there is one or two burning questions before we let them go. You have a question that is burning and you feel that maybe we were constant of time, but I want to believe it will be good and it will be fair to give you that chance. One burning question that you have that you would want Moses to respond to. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My question was on, if you're young, you have the aspect of time on your side, is there a way you can take loan and leverage it to invest it, build your portfolio as you service that loan. Maybe if you have a source of income, you can service that loan, but not loan for development or anything like that, purely for investment.
Yes, I would say yes. Depending on the return you are going to get out there. If you're taking a loan of 15%, invest to get a margin of 1%, not really much because it will also take money from you. But if they are taking a cheaper loan, let's say like 12%, and you have opportunities of giving 15, 16%, their margin of 4% there, it is a good opportunity and with a compounding. And the goal is to look how do you clear that loan as possible, and also such that it doesn't interfere with your with whatever in terms of it's within that rule of your pay slip, and all the other things are moving such that the asset you also invest, you need to do a lot of background check. I've seen people taking a loan and then they invest in such an opportunity coming in form of an investment, then it goes down. They lose their capital, so they end up paying a loan while you don't have an investment. It's very sad because it will take you time to recover. So you just need to assess the risk you are taking on that money, because these are borrowed money. So you just need to assess what the interest I'm going to pay on this loan, what's the opportunity available for me, and you can do it. For even buying properties sometimes, but you need to check what's the cash flow am I getting on that. So you need to do that assessment. It's a journey that you need to do a bit of an assessment.
Another question before we move on equity funds. You said equity funds deals with stock exchange.
Yes.
If supposing instead of opting to open an account or a CDSC account with NSC, if I don't have the time to keep up with the markets and the dividends that I'm making from those shares are lower in comparison, would you advise me to open an equity account or just focus on another investment altogether?
Good question. So, first of all, when we are talking of the risk profile and your risk capacity, different assets have a risk profile. So you can buy the stocks with a broker and you can build it, but how substantive? Because if the stock is moving with 1 shilling or 5 shillings, the volume matters. But also you can engage in a strategy of what we call dollar smoothing, or you just keep on buying small, but the goal is long term because you have an advantage of time. And here you don't want to buy every stocks there. You just need to work with about 3 to 4 stocks that you know these are good company with a good fundamentals. Work with someone who've done the fundamentals of the company and their earning history and what they are currently doing, their business model. You buy into it. Those are the good company you can vouch for you for 5 years or even for 10 years building that. If not, then you can enter into an equity fund. An equity fund will demand a bit higher money. The most you'll find a minimum of $500,000. The yield, yes, it can be positive today, tomorrow can be a bit of a negative, but because it's managed, it's just drop. May not go to the negative, but there's that a bit of a volatility. So in a long term, we recommend it for a minimum of 5 years. So getting into an equity fund, get there with a view of 5 years and above. So that if there's a year that we went deep like COVID, and that year's the time of the Russia fights and all those whatever happening, in case those things are happening, you have time to recover and be on the positive. So that's an account. So when you're investing, you need to diversify. Don't say, I only have an equity fund. You maybe have a cash need, and then you end up going to sell our stocks when it's down there. You'll sell it at loss. Maybe you bought at 25, you come and sell it at 15. You've already made a loss. Yeah? But if you need to diversify your portfolio, have something in what we call the cash and equivalents, a bit of like a money market fund is growing, and there's another aspect which is growing. So, but also to have that such a diversified portfolio, you need to accumulate a bit of money, a bit of also with the time. So the stocks, you can engage in that, buying small, and accumulate it for long term. You know, for good companies, you don't have to buy like 10 companies, because here you have 20 shares, here you have 100 shares. Even if it moves, you not see the growth. But if you have managed to have 1,000 shares of this company, a movement in 1 shillings, it's 1,000. If it moves with 5 shillings, there's a movement. So you keep on growing that aspect of the portfolio. Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Tutapokea nyingine kwa Mrs. Karaoke. Asante.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have two questions to you. It's about now the money market fund. Yeah? So would you make us understand in a simple way, like maybe one certain money market fund is making an income of about a return of about 17 or 16%. Another one is making a return of about 12%. What makes the difference? Is it the amount of maybe the fund they have, or what is it? Another question is about a group investment. Let's say I have 10,000 in my account and I invest it alone. And then maybe I have about 10 friends. We join up and invest 100,000 maybe every month, instead of me investing alone 10,000. Or maybe I have 100,000, we are 10, we invest like 1 million at a go. Is there a magic of numbers if we invest together, or is it's okay if I invest alone my 100,000 or my 10,000 or my 1,000? Instead of investing my 1,000, I join up with my friends, we invest 10,000. I think you get my point. Thank you.
I'll take the first question, and Mr. Ekesa will assist me in the second questions. They are also a senior consultant here there. So the first question was, why would you see one fund manager or money market performing at 12%, while the rest is the others are doing like 17? The first thing I would say is on the management fee. We are given a range of how much we charge the management fee. We are told the 2.5% you can charge. There are those who charge everything, the 2.5. The other thing is on their portfolio holding. What is this are they holding in their portfolio? We are coming from interest when it was around 9%. We've seen the CBK through what we call Monetary Policy Committee adjusting something we call a central bank borrowing rate from 7.5, 8, 10 to 13. What does that translate in the market? It translates to an elevated or higher what you call interest rate. Of course, they are looking forward to counter the effect of the inflation, which was happening globally, not just in Kenya. But as that interest is going up, what happens to the bond? There's something I mentioned here, that when the interest rates are going up, the performance of some of these bonds, they are down. It moves down. There's an inverse relationship. So if your portfolio is highly concentrated on the long-term bonds, and you are not able to move with speed to dispose some of those assets in the market, like I remember last year, January to March, we engaged a lot in removing those assets in our portfolio because we knew where the interest is heading and how they're going to look in our portfolio. If you're highly concentrated, some of them, example I know, you'll find that one has almost 80% in bonds. And that a movement happening, they cannot afford and go and sell it in the market. They will make losses, huge losses, and they cannot afford. So what they do, they will hold. And even the regulator had recommended for us to do what we call, there are two valuations, marking to market of the bonds or holding to maturity. As an investor, you can buy your bond and hold it to mature. But as a fund manager, we cannot afford to hold those bonds because we have liquidity needs. So we keep on valuing in what we call marking to market, match it with the movement in the interest rate in the market. So we have to keep on adjusting. But then, if you have those bonds that have a higher, let's say you bought that bond at 13%, at 19%, that bond, if you take 100 shillings, if you go to sell, you bought at 100, you can only sell it at maybe 80 shillings. If you are to do 100 shillings there, we have a way of a unit pricing of a bond, or you could sell it at 85. What does it mean? 15% of that portfolio is lost. So so what they do, they just hold it in their portfolio hoping the interest rate curve will come down and match the bond they have. So that constitutions of their portfolio allocation, it is one of the driver why you'd see some of them giving higher returns, and even some, those who are giving even 18, you look at it, they are new companies. They are new, very new companies in the market, so they are buying the new, they are just entering the market with higher bonds and all that. So at least they have that advantage. But those who have been also there for longer term, bought those bonds and also the book size, you realize they are heavy in the bit of those bonds. So that would be my explanation. But I just to understand maybe engaging with the advisor, and there's a fact sheet. There are fact sheet that we send our client. You can check how the portfolio allocation looks like. We say money market. Our fact sheet says we have cash and equivalents of this, corporate debt, bonds, have this and that. It shows why the return is moving like that. So I would say it's also depending also on the capability of the fund manager to negotiate for better opportunities, because this is a daily thing. We do it on a daily basis. We have a very big investment team that does this on a daily basis. So how fast you're able to move in the market also determines. So I'll give it to Mr. Wekesa to answer the other question.
One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Are the men in the house? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Where are my ladies? 1, 2, 3. Ah, very nice, very nice. Kindly repeat the question.
The second one was, it's just simple. If I invest alone, I'll invest as a team. Okay, as a group. Let's say I have 10,000 and I need to start investing this month or next month. And I invest that 10,000 alone, maybe in a term of 5 years. Or I come as a group, we invest like 100,000 every month for 5 years. Are we going to get to our goal faster, or is there any benefit? Or maybe you can just do it alone, or you can do it as a group. Is it a higher return when I invest like more, or maybe the return would be the same?
Thank you very much. Remind me your name?
I'm Eunice.
Eunice, eh? That's a very good question. Now, what happens with the regulated investments? The advantage is the same. So if you come as a group, you are a group. If you come as an individual, you will gain as an individual. And now the advantage you have as a group, you're pulling funds together. So it means if you're working on a project, you'll have more money to roll out the project, right? So in terms of return, at the end of the day, you will divide equally. So it will translate to the same figure when you invested alone. So with the regulated investments, the advantage, there is no special client. All the clients are the same, but the advantage of a group is you're coming together, so you're pulling funds together, so you'll make more impact in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's why we call them unit trust. Your money, when you join in a fund, your money is divided into, there is a unit price for the day, so your money is in form of units. So even if I came with my 10 million, and you came with your 1 million or 10,000, your money is divided into units in that fund. So with my 10 million, I will earn equivalent of that, the units I have. With the 10,000, you earn equivalent. You are not able to negotiate in this regulated market. You are not able to negotiate the return. You take what is, we call them NAVs, net asset value, what we do everyday valuations. So we determine what is the NAV for today and what's the return you made for that day. So, but if you are able to go through the advisory, what we offer opportunities in advisory, there we are able to connect you with also higher opportunities. And also in something I mentioned here about managed account. A managed account, you need a minimum of 20 million, and there we buy you specific securities. We open for you a custody account, buy for you specific securities, and work out with what we call investment policy statement that state how your money should be invested, and we invest the money according to that strategy, and we report to you on a monthly basis. So that is what I find more happening when you talk about legacy and the family trust. Yeah.
Do we have any other question, please, as we trying to wind up? We're checking on something from the other side. We're fixing everything. So maybe if you have a question as we wind up, you can show by raising up your hand kindly.
That's simple. The question you have in your mind, just ask. This is the opportunity, you, as someone said, to see us. Yes.
We have one
He
here.
has a question also. Yes, let's start with her. Then.
I think I raised my hand first.
Okay.
I know ladies first.
Yeah.
So, since nobody has asked this question, let me ask it for you. What is the process of accessing these funds? I know it's very important, but most of us don't want to ask it. So how do you access these funds once you've invested it?
To withdraw. In case you want to withdraw, you can withdraw your money. Mostly the standards is within 24 to 48 hours, or work with 2 to 3 working days, 72 hours. And how to withdraw is you can visit the office, or you can do an email. When you're signing the application form, there's something called email indemnity, the official email. You can write an email and say, I want to partially withdraw part of my investment, or I want to withdraw everything. We process. For like money market fund, there is no charges. We process and send it to your bank. Yeah, and also we can also do M-Pesa top-ups, whereby you are able to do a monthly, whatever from your top-up. You can do a standing order when you're investing. To withdraw is simple. Send an email, we process, we confirm your details, and it's you and all that, and we process it and send it to your bank. Yes, get her question.
Okay, hi Moses.
Hi.
My name is Esther.
Yes, Esther.
Previously, you guys had a minimum starting capital of 250K. I don't know whether that has changed. Maybe you can talk about the starting capital. Then maybe you can also mention whether you have a lock-in period for the money once you invest in the MMF.
Yeah.
And also expound maybe on the opportunities that like the young generation have with CHUMS. Now yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that good question. To clarify, we have not had a minimum of 250. I think you're confusing it with our counterpart, another company. They have a minimum of 250. Ours is a minimum of 100,000. Initial capital, minimum of 100,000. And you can do a minimum top-up of 10,000. Not a must, but when you do, you can do a top-up of 10,000. And if you don't fit in that category, what we are doing and what you have done, we have partnered with a company called CHUMS. They have a tech platform. They mobilize money from different people. They even have a plan, kind of a plan on their app. That app, you can invest even 100 shillings. So if you are young or you're looking forward to start investing, you can download that from your Play Store, CHUMS app, apply there, register, and you can invest there from M-Pesa to that account, load it, and then now they collect the money all over from different investors, and they invest with us. We are the fund manager, and they have gone through the CMA regulations. For them to do that, they had to go through something called sandbox, and they had to go, first of all, you need to have a fund manager who approves that you are legit and work with you, and then you go through the CMA vetting and what we call sandbox until they're given a license as a tech platform. So with that CHUMS, you can invest there and be able to invest now, indirectly invest with us. Of course, they have their management fees, but also we are looking on automating. We don't have an app right now. We are looking on having an app, and mostly we'll try and see how we can lower the minimum. But currently we're doing 100,000 and a minimum top-up of 10,000. But that should not limit you from beginning the investment journey. Oh, locking period for money market, we don't have a locking period. You can withdraw, but at least give it time like a month. Yeah, so don't put money today, and before even we acknowledge we are received the money, you send a withdrawal. It may not have earned anything. We don't have a processing fee to send you the money. Currently, we don't have a processing fee, but at least we limit 2 transactions, 2 withdrawals in a month. At least 2 withdrawals in a month, so you can plan yourself. At least do 2 withdrawals in a month. We have another fund called Fixed Income Fund. Fixed Income Fund invests in bonds. That one has a locking period of 6 months. The initial capital is locked for 6 months. So once you invest in that, in case you want to withdraw, you'll be charged 0.25% in case you withdraw before 6 months. Yeah. Yes, there are questions there.
Hello. Hello, Moses.
Yes.
Thank you. My name is Fred.
Yes, Fred.
Clarity on the second point from what has been asked on the minimum investment. I got a little bit more interested, and she asked what I wanted to know. From your website,
yeah,
it is indicated that the minimum requirement for somebody who's coming in first time is 100,000.
Yes, it is 100,000.
And you've indicated subsequent 10,000 shillings.
It's 100,000 initial capital.
Yes.
And when you want to top up, 10,000.
Subsequent 10,000 top-ups.
Yes. Whenever you want to top up, do at least 10,000.
Okay, now that's where I wanted the clarity.
Yeah.
Because many of us fall within the margin of 50 to 100. It oscillates from there.
Okay.
Where do you put individual investors who want to come in as a first time but cannot do 100,000 in a month?
Sometimes we do exemptions depending with the goal. If you come and tell me I want to build a lifestyle portfolio and I want to start with 50, and I can even be doing 50-50 monthly, definitely that client you'll on board. Another one will come and say I'll be doing 20,000 after I do 50, then I do 20,000 later or every month. That client, of course, has the opportunity, has met the threshold of 100,000. I would say we are transitioning from, in terms of the system, what I would say is we were doing institutions. We were doing a minimum of 1 million. And with our system, it's a journey. Of course, the journey, the automation to be able to do this, it's been the journey. So initially it was 1 million, but we've worked a strategy to come to accommodate 100, but definitely we'll come now and be able to do even 5,000 or 10,000. But in the meantime, what we are telling someone, you can do the chums for 2 to 3 months, and then you can deposit this with us. Yeah. Or even if you have 50 and you're able to do 10,000, you sit with our advisors, we sit there, we consider case to case. Some are student, one has this potential, but they are reorganizing their finances, definitely. So it's not like it has to be 100,000. No, we can always get a way forward. Yes, other question.
Yeah, thank you. Now mine is a very simple one, and I want to ask for my neighbor here. And I see there's a gap. We have talked about the documents that are required so that you can be able to invest in money market fund, the ID, PIN, the rest.
Yeah.
Now, what about the process? Because as we are seated with the process, from registration, we have talked about withdraw. You have to register, invest, and then withdraw. Now, what is the process? Because maybe some of the people are seated here and they are investors and they can invest right away, starting with 1,000 bob. Thank you.
For that instant, I would recommend from Chums. If you are starting with 1,000, download the Chums app. As we sit here, I know you have the phone, go to your Play Store, check the Chums app. It is directory. It will ask you for those soft documents. You'll just upload there. and the activation. I think they activate it instantly. Yeah, instantly. And you'll have the account running, and you can even put your first 1,000 there. The other way, if you want to do directly, let's say 100 or 2 or for NABO, you get in touch with us. We're able to give you the application document. There's now not from the app, but now the physical document. We share the soft or hard copy, and you can fill out, scan to us. We process. They say within 24 hours you have the welcome letter, and then you can fund the account. But the instant, immediately, if you go to your Play Store, you can start immediately right now with the Chums app. And there is where you can even keep your money there. You know, that money you say, I have this money that you keep aside, and you know, in case of something, I can access this money. You can keep it in the Chums app. It's earning something. It may be even 10 shillings. But the thing is, you're investing. That money is not idle. It's growing. Yeah. I think it's no more. Oh, there's a question there. 2 actually. I think there are 2 questions.
Good afternoon, Moses.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. My question goes back to the pension.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say I've worked with a corporate account, a corporate company. I leave the company. Then, of course, I have to transfer my pension to the current company or that I am in. Let's say I'm going to Britain. I'll have to access some of the pension, but there is that I'm not able to access until I retire.
Yes.
But when it goes, for example, let's say Britain, they'll tell me that there's some amount that I'll be able to access. So my question is, on that amount that I'm supposed to access, will I be able to like transfer it to a money market, or does it apply? Since you are in the same players, I don't know. Does it operate?
Yeah, you can transfer. The money you access, if you realize how much I'm growing from this pension is not like for my intention. I've changed my employer, and you say, I want to access my 100% contributions, and for the employer remains to the retirement. You can take that money and invest in another portfolio, like even a money market fund, where you'll be able to be monitoring how it's moving. If there you are earning maybe at 5%, and here you're able to do 10%, and you can be able to supplement to do more on this fund, it is possible. You have free to do that. They don't have restriction. But them, it's not them that will send us money. We don't do a third party. Unless it's our pension, you are moving from that coming to the pension, then that's facilitation that takes a process. But if it's you're coming to money market fund, has to be sent to you, like a withdrawal, and then now you start an investment with us. So you send it to us directly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Joguna.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, okay. I must first of all congratulate you for the work that you are doing.
Thank you.
For me, I know I'm an insurance agent, and money market I sell also for CIC. And I know what you are saying, and it's a true story, because when some of the clients, we are with them in the house, and I have a number who have benefited. So I wanted you to clarify to them about the statements, the monthly statements, whether you do share the monthly statements on how your money is growing, could be now via the email. And also, it's good to, I am asking for them whether you can change from one fund to the other, whether it is possible.
Okay, thank you for that. He's my colleague in the industry. So yes, we do share monthly statements. And on top of that, as I said, there's an automation journey. Most of the fund managers we have, like he said with CIC, you will be able to view your investment from the app. They have an app, you're able to view that. It's also something we are doing. You're able to view your investment and see how it's performing. Then end of the month, as we send the statement by 5th of every month, we are able to send you the statement. You're able to see what was my opening balance, how much did I earn in form of interest, and what is my closing balance. And in case you want to switch from one fund to the other, it is possible with no penalties. You can move from money market to fixed income. You can move from fixed term to a money market fund account. No no penalties for that. Thank you. Thank you for this. I don't know, we are done, eh?
Yeah, you're done.
Okay, thank you for those questions. And as I said, we've made investment decisions. I said we are all, like I now my colleague in the industry. I know we have accountant, people, investment, and all that. And we have this information. What we do is let's educate each other. Let's make it easier for other people to understand. Whenever you have an opportunity, share the information. And even as you go, as you interact with your colleagues at work, your family, and all that, always engage them and have an advisor in your life, an investment advisor. You know, when you talk of your insurance need, have someone who takes care of that. You talk of investment, have someone who takes care of that. And we are able to, when you make such a decision, you avoid some mistakes. You don't have to repeat mistakes that people have done before. It can get easier. Yeah, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you so much. I think and I know we can appreciate him better than that. Tumpigie makofi vizuri. If you feel like you have been fed well, thank you. Thank you, sir, for such a time and for you being ready for us to kukutumia. Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe. Let me use. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Asante sana Bwana. Thank you so much. Let us appreciate them from up there. Hawangeachwa nyuma, they are still investors. Na hawangebaki nyuma kama hawajauliza swali. So we would kindly request Mr. Yeah, thank you. He has delegated somebody to answer that question from that investor.
You can hear me loud and clear? Yes, so at NAB, we don't really have a crypto account. Because one of the things that normally happens with cryptos is that the regulations are very slim. And that is not always within the jurisdiction of the Capital Markets Authority currently. Yeah? So for now, we work with what is available. But there are people who can definitely advise on that. We can, of course, give guidelines to people who are specialists around crypto market. That is good? Okay.
Thank you so much. Let us, okay. So far, so good. Ni wangapi tu, how many investors feel like we are in a better place than when we got in? That is nice. It means that the sessions have been productive, and may God bless you, and may God bless Nabo Capital for the time you have taken to come and be with us in this time. Asanteni sana. Ningependa tuendelee kumalizia. Najua time is not on our side. Tukiendelea kutamatisha. I would request to have somebody who is going to give us a vote of thanks, and from there tutakuwa tunaendelea kutamatisha. So I had seen Mrs. Mwanja somewhere. Sijui kama ametoka. Madam Mwanja. She's where? She's outside. Thank you. Mrs. Karaoke, tafadhali. Tumpigie makofi. Huyu ni investor, and she is my fellowship leader. So nikimuona najua tumewakilisha. Karibu sana. Vote of thanks.
Good afternoon again. I want to thank everyone who came. Clap for yourself. I want to thank our dear pastor, Pastor Lucy Kokonyo, for joining us from morning up to now. Clap for her. I want to appreciate the team from Nambo Money Market Fund managers. Let us clap for them because they have done a good job. They came as a team and they have really educated us. We have moved from, ignorance is bad, but education and knowledge will take us far. So we appreciate. Let us give them a clap again. You have simplified for us. Some of us were not able to understand very well what is money market, other investments. We have understood. You have taught us like in a layman's language. We appreciate. Now I want us to appreciate the men leaders and the men in this house. But let's first appreciate the leaders, starting with Charles Amunga, for inviting us in the house and making us also join them in this knowledge. Mr. Kizito, the men leadership, let's give them a clap. And all the men in the house, if you are lady seated to a man, give him a hand and clap for him or for the men who are seated next to you. We appreciate you so much. We are also proud that you are the priests in our houses. You join us, and you have also invited us in your fellowship this day. We don't take it for granted. We appreciate everything, and we give glory to God. And also, we can't forget God, by the way, because He is the one who has given us life. He is the one who have made us to breathe and to be here. So a big hand clap to the Lord up there. He has been gracious to us. Without him, we can do nothing. I can't forget to thank our pastor in absentia, Pastor Kokonyo. Let us give a hand clap to him wherever he is. We appreciate. He has given all of us an opportunity to grow. We appreciate. And also, we give a hard clap to the DC Utawala leadership and the DC Utawala Church because of hosting this event. Let's give a clap to all that. So thank you very much. We also appreciate the teams that were involved, the security team, the people who are cooking for us, the ushers, the people who are registering. They have done a good job. Without them, then we could not have this service. There are people who have been working behind the curtains. We cannot see them visibly, but they have worked very hard for maybe a month or so. Let's appreciate them. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Where is...
Thank you so much. Let us appreciate Mrs. Kariuki. Asante sana kwa kutupea hizo closing remarks. Tunapoendelea kutamatisha, ndio tuende kwa lile jambo jingine. Ningependa tumpokee Mrs. Ibunga. Mr. Ibunga iko wapi? Huyu ndio atatupa. That was on the ladies side. Still, let us appreciate him tafadhali. Investors, can you appreciate this investor as he comes? Atupe a word of thank you.
Jumbo investors. It's been a value-packed session. Wangapi wanakubaliana na mimi? We have gained a lot. Personally, I have gained a lot. I came here thinking that I knew much. I've just realized I need to learn more. And I believe that speaks to all of us here. Bwana asifiwe sana. So it's not been a wasted morning. It's been a morning that has been well spent. For those who have created time to come, there is no regret. For me personally, I know there is no regret. I will do this again and again. And I've enjoyed every moment this morning. If you look at the church vision, I was looking at the church vision. There's a word there called empowering. Look at the mission. There's a word there which is equipping. So that is what has been happening this morning. We've been equipped. We have been empowered. And then if you go to the vision of the men's ministry, there's a part that talks about positively impact their families, communities, and the world. So as we live here, we have been empowered, we have been equipped, so let us go out there and positively impact the world, our families, and the community with the knowledge that you have received today. Hii ujuzi ambao umepokea siku ya leo, this knowledge, please go out there and wage a good warfare. And I'm speaking figuratively, sisemi mwende mpige watu. I'm talking about financial warfare. Now you have received financial literacy from our team from NABO Capitals. Please go and wage a good warfare. You know, I was thinking about a phrase which says that we